Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. Today we're going to do a Should You Pull on the Cater banner. So we're going to have a banner here with Cater and a couple of side characters, and then we've got Edgar on the other side of it. So I'm going to start by talking about just any notable, I guess, spheres or calls that you'd be looking for here. So to be honest, in terms of spheres, Edgar is probably the best one here. Edgar's got a really good Brave damage up on weakness damage. So that's a very, very good sphere that a lot of people can use. Zell's got a pretty standard, like 10% attack up. You can definitely get some use out of that. And then on this side, Lise has a very good D sphere. This is a good party attack up on a D slot. There's a lot of options for that, but she's one of them. And I think, so like Cater and Galuf, they've got attack ups, but they're on evade. So they're a little bit niche, so not every character can use them, but they are good on evade characters, right? So that's, I would say, what's notable for spheres, but I'd say, yeah, Edgar has actually probably got the best sphere here for sure. And then Lisa's really solid too for that D slot. In terms of calls, Cater can put freeze on a call, so that's kind of cool, but not like a must-have call or anything, right? Galuf can do like evasion for the character using it, but nothing too crazy. I think Edward can put sleep down, which is okay. But I'm looking at calls here, and I'm not seeing any like meta-defining calls to summon for. So I think what we really need to look at here is, are the characters themselves worth summoning for the party, right? I'm going to say this right now. The Edgar side is a complete skip, for sure. Edgar's a very underwhelming character. He's very niche. His whole thing is about giving multiple weapon-type weaknesses. But that doesn't really matter because any character with an element is going to do elemental weakness, which is going to do the same thing. So, like, weapon weakness really doesn't have a point. It's just like having an elemental weakness. So, the way they've made Edgar relevant is just dividing... They basically have created fights that are designed around his mechanic, right? Where they force you into doing like these different weapon weaknesses, but outside of the game forcing Edgar on you, like, you really don't ever want to use him, right? He's got a very powerful trap, but it's literally like one time and that's it. And we're getting to the point power creep wise where characters can just output way more damage anyways, even without the trap. So Edgar just doesn't really, he's not really worth it, right? Even if you're a Final Fantasy VI mega fan, like I got him and built him, and I kind of regret it, to be honest, because I never use him. I guess I don't regret it because, like, his Spiritus fight or whatever would have been like hell without him. So I'm glad I had him for that, but it's a bummer. That's like, yeah, I summoned a character for basically one fight, and then I never really want to use him. So, yeah, I don't recommend y'all going for Edgar here. Zell and Edward, even at Force 50, not really worth it. Just LD only, I think some LD only characters will definitely get more use, but it's hard because I can say, oh yeah, like Edward's cool, you can put sleep down, he can do some things, he can do some brave gaining, whatever, but it's like he's still going to be super weak. He doesn't have any type of force, so you're sacrificing, that. He's like an LD only character, but he just has the Force 50 to help you retain. So it's still like, even though getting more retain is cool, you still have to balance, like, outweigh, like, would I rather use Edward or should I just use like a different Echo character, right? So you kind of have to weigh that, but I don't think either Zell or Edward are worth going in on, especially not Zell, because he's just a damage dealer and LD only is not going to cut it. Now we go to the Cater side, and I think we have a much different story here. There's actually a lot of good to be summoned here, right? Galuf is a character I would say is probably one of the best LD only characters in the game, and then getting Force 50 is very good. He's a cover tank that does dodge counters, which is very good, and then Force 50 is going to give you a nice retain. I think Galuf fits really, really nice on a defense comp, and you can get away with him LD only, because you don't, on defense comps, you don't depend on a bunch of Echo to like ramp up the gauge. It's more about letting the enemies take a million turns, you counter and you build up the gauge that way. That being said, as good as Galuf is, like if you have Kelgar, you have Oron, you have like all these other, like if you already have these good counter tanks, you don't have to like get Galuf. But I think Galuf is notable because if you're a newer player or a player without a large box and you're summoning on Cater, Galuf is a really, really nice budget option for a tank, and I think he is worth the Force Enhanced 50. But what I'm going to say is this, like if you're a veteran that already has him, which a lot of veterans do, don't like automatically just go and Force 50 him, because it's expensive, right? Only do it if you think you're actually going to use him, but he is good enough to use, he is good enough to invest that Force 50 on. He's a very good character, right? Now, Lise, wouldn't really recommend her for in the party. She's pretty much just, she's kind of like a battery damage dealer type character. The thing with Lise, though, the reason why this banner has value is I think Cater is mega worth summoning for. And then With Galif, you're getting a really nice LD only character that's like one of the best ones in the game. And then with Leash, you've got a really nice sphere you're summoning for on the EX. So like every character here has some value if you decide to go in on the banner. Now Cater, I actually love Cater, and I think she was actually my top pick this month, to be honest. Realistically, I'm biased because Fujin probably is better, I'm not going to lie. But I love Cater's kit. I love the style of her kit. So she is a lock, evade, counter tank. So what that means is she's going to put lockdown on the enemies, force them onto her. She is going to 100% evade and counter. Her BT is going to give her double counters, which is very good. And then the thing that's also awesome about her is she can pretty much on demand apply a freeze debuff, which makes it so the enemies can't gain brave and they can't hurt you. So I really like that also. And then with her BT, she gives party-wide evasion. So what you're getting with Cater is you're getting a really good evade counter tank, but she's also going to make your party feel incredibly safe. And I've talked about how valuable Edge is as an LD only character just because he has party-wide evade. Well, now Cater's got that on a premium FR Echo character. Now, I am going to admit, if you already have Kelger, you probably don't need Cater, right? She's probably overkill, but she's an incredibly nice character to have, especially for like lockout if you want multiple basically Kelgers on the team. That's kind of what you're getting. I would say Kelger is probably still better than Cater, but I really, really like Cater. I think she's going to be an amazing character for people to have. So I'm not going to call her a must pull, but out of the characters we have this month that we know, she's about as close to a must pull as you're going to get. Now that we know that Aerith is on the Papalimo banner, Aerith is the 100% must pull character of the month if you don't have her. It's just a lot of veterans are going to have her already. But in terms of like the new characters getting new upgrades, you know, Fujin and Cater are definitely like, for me, they're 1 and 2 right there, right? And I definitely think most players would say Fujin's number 1, and I wouldn't disagree with that. With my personal bias, I'm saying personally, I kind of like Cater a little bit more, just because I love the dodge counter. I love counter comps. I think she's so fun. The freeze has got so much utility. So I think this banner has a ton of value if you don't have a lot of these pieces. Now, once again, veterans are already going to have Galif. You're probably already going to have Leaf Spheres. That's not even worth like chasing anyways. So it's going to be a matter of, if you want another evade counter tank, I think Cater's amazing. If you don't feel like you need that, you definitely can skip this. It's not like, it's not an unskippable banner, right? It's just a banner that I think has incredible value, and I really, really like the characters on it. So I personally am going all in on Cater, and my plan is I'm going to do my free pulls and see how it goes. If I get lucky and I luck sack the BT, I've got 50 BT tokens, right? So I think I probably will just ticket Cater since I got the BT token sitting there. I'll ticket, get the FR, do my free multis. If I don't luck sack the BT, then I probably just use the tokens. But if I do get it very luckily, then I'm actually going to take my 50 BT tokens. I think I'm going to get my Big Papa, get that Big Papa BT and try out Papa Lima with the BT. I think he is a very interesting character, right? So anyways, let me know what your summoning plans are. Best of luck to you. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you all on the next one.